whole group
Okay.
I was with.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone.
Oh, I gotta go pick up a.
We will not have an executive session this evening, so I will just ask Mr. Eldridge if you could please call the roll.
Yes, pardon me. Ms. Bowes. Mr. Clark.
Here.
Ms. Evans.
Here.
Ms. Farmer.
Here.
Ms. Groger.
Here.
Dr. King.
Here.
Mr. Pluta.
Here.
Mrs. Santos.
Here.
Mr. Van Hise.
Here.
You have a quorum?
Thank you. As I mentioned, this evening, we will not have an executive session, so we will go into the next item, which is the announcement of notice. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. As required under law, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided via email and/or fax to the Times, the Lawrence Ledger, the Public Library, and has been filed with the municipal clerk. This notice was provided prior to 48 hours required by the Open Public Meetings Act. The board reserves the right to limit public discussion of personnel items and other matters as defined in the law. We will now have the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And being as it is summer, we do not have any student representatives to report this evening, but we do have a recognition and acknowledgement. Dr. Kaysen.
Yes, we have the LTEF here tonight, and Karen Feynman presenting a BMS grant check to us, so we will gladly welcome her up here so we can accept that and get her on our way.
Hello. Hi. All right, so start with my little spiel here. Human progress depends greatly on innovation. It depends on people coming up with innovative ideas to improve life. Consequently, societies must make sure that as many people as possible have the opportunity to become scientists, inventors, and entrepreneurs. To ensure this, it is essential that we offer students the best STEAM educational framework that we are able. And the LTF strives to continue to support that in LTPS. And thank you to BMS for this grant for $31,895.95. We are able to continue to do just that and greatly enhance STEAM education for all grade levels in Lawrence Township Public Schools. The grant has three distinct parts that we're able to impact every student in every school. First, this funding will provide computer science Lego education STEAM kits for pre-K through 6th grade classrooms. Legos are not only fun, but they also ignite curiosity while easily being integrated into the classroom and science curriculum. Lego STEAM activities give children hands-on practice with science, technology, engineering, and math. The sets allow children to experiment, test ideas, and answer questions. And without realizing it, they're learning and building their vocabulary. These Lego sets grow with students, building confidence in STEAM skills like coding, robotics, and computer science. In fact, they align very well with the elementary computer science standards. The second part of this grant provides modified Harkness-style dry erase tables for high school math classrooms to facilitate student discourse, collaboration, and visible thinking. These strategies are an equitable approach to increasing student engagement and learning for all. Harkness-style dry erase tables for high school math classrooms, sorry, that was repeating. And the final enhancement to STEM education program in Lawrence Township provided by this grant is an engaging and transformative speaker to the middle school and high school. Only 16% of American high school seniors are proficient in math and interested in a science career. Furthermore, the United States is ranked 25 in math and 17 in science out of 31 countries. Despite these low numbers, in 2021, there were nearly 10 million workers in these type of occupations, and this total is projected to grow by 11% by 2031, over 2 times faster than the total for all occupations. The goal of this part of the project is to spark excitement in learning STEM subjects and guide students to rewarding STEM careers. It will bring Candace Simmons to speak to 7th to 12th graders Simmons is a leading global STEM expert, motivational speaker, and a school success strategist. Simmons will ignite and spark curiosity and passion in students through a captivating presentation. In addition to a keynote address to these student populations, he will also hold workshops for science classes at both schools and a parent/educator night for the entire district to further help adults to help children chart the path to success in STEM. All three of these STEAM enhancements spark enthusiasm, but also encourage learning and lead to cognitive development. STEAM materials, classroom enhancements, and speakers are creative and motivating approaches to STEAM education. Not only does it teach students how to think critically, problem solve, and use creativity, it teaches them that these are vital for many high-earning jobs of tomorrow. So before I end, I'd just like to, one, obviously thank BMS for their continued support and thousands of dollars every year in the STEM areas. And it was also a collaborative effort. This was not my own thinking. I want to thank Kristen Burke, Sarah Foster, and Pimmy Goomer for their help in developing this proposal. So, thank you very much. You want Tricia and Ross and have
Sure.
me?
Right, 1, 2, 3. Stay there because I'm gonna do one with my phone too, just so I can send it to Karen right away. Thank you.
And I just want to say thanks to the LTEF and Karen. They've been wonderful partners in bringing many things to our staff and our students for the last few years with Karen in the lead, so it's been a pleasure to work with you.
Yes, thank you to LTEF. Okay. Next, we have the adoption of minutes.
I'll move them.
I'll second it.
With a motion and a second. And call the roll.
Mr. Clark.
Yes.
Ms. Evans.
Yes.
Ms. Kroger.
Yes.
Dr. King.
Abstain.
Mr. Pluta.
Abstain.
Ms. Santos.
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise.
Yes.
Ms. Farmer.
Yes,
Your motion carried.
thank you. Okay. Now we'll have the superintendent's report.
Welcome, everyone. It continues to be a very busy summer. Our summer programs are thriving, and I want to take a moment to thank our administrators, our teachers, our support staff, our custodians, our maintenance crew, to really making sure a lot of moving parts are all coming together, and we're really supporting our kids throughout the summer. Next week, as many know, we are going to be hosting for our incoming sixth graders, 30 of them or 30 plus students, for the World Peace Games. That came from a $50,000 grant with a partnership with our Education Foundation. So again, thank you to Michelle D'Angelo, the NJEA. And like that, there are so many moving parts that we're learning about as we go. And I want to thank Jen for her efforts in this, but also Tom and Jill. There's a board game for this that we found out about late in the process, and they have been building this magnificent structure to be able to play the game on, and it's really special, and it takes some skill too. They kicked me out of the room and told me not to help.
We took the power tools away.
So, and then we've been busy hiring, and I really want to thank Sean Fry and Human Resources. Tonight, we have our recommendation of Vanessa Pekarsiak for our Assistant Superintendent of Student Services. She is a graduate of Lawrence. Her first teaching job was in Lawrence at LIS as a school psychologist, so she's coming back home. She is a tremendous asset to our team, and I'm really excited to be recommending her tonight. So I know she's here, but we'll give you a round of applause when we do the acknowledgement in the agenda. And then we are finishing up the Ben Franklin principal search. We have had a wonderful process. We had over 35 people apply. We have interviewed multiple people. We started off with a round of 12, have whittled that down to some really outstanding candidates. On Monday, we brought in 3 finalists They were interviewed by a panel. It was my biggest panel in my entire career. I think there were 22 people, maybe 25 at one point. We used questions from the survey that we sent to staff and to the community to form our questions. And now we're at the point where we're doing some reference checks. We're bringing in some people to see our kiddos and see how they interact. We're doing some breakfasts and meetings and things like that. And we're hoping to have a final decision later this week. So we probably need an emergency board meeting next week to be able to move that person forward and get them here as soon as possible. But really great choices and difficult choices to make, but we will find somebody that's outstanding for that school. And that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you for that hard work and
Thank
many
you,
efforts.
Ross. Yes. Okay. And yes, absolutely. Thank you, Ross, and also for all the transparency that you're sharing with us with the principal's search. It's really awesome. Next, we have the board secretary report.
It would be my pleasure to invite you in if you have the time to come and see the fantastic things that are happening. It's inspirational. Every day walking around the district is clearly the proof that our staff is dedicated. So some shout outs to some of our folks. In addition to what Ross had said, we've already issued 1,458 purchase orders with about $72 million in orders already outstanding, getting ready for the school year. Registration is registered about 200 students at this point. 142 of them are for kindergarten. We already have, our kindergarten is about 215 right now for next year. The current year is 239. We are working on enrollment projections. The demographer that we use is named Sarah Weissman. She'll get back to us on Monday with an idea of where we're going to be. We're specifically interested in the world and the universe of preschool at this point, where she finds that quite difficult to predict, given the fact that we have COVID. But she's excited to help us once more. She's been with us since the Bruce McGraw days. So thank you to Ms. Weissman for jumping right on that. With respect to facilities, some follow-up for you. If you come into the high school, you'll see, and you're in the high school now, if you didn't know, but the wiring, you'll see the internet wiring. So we're on phase 2 of our wiring for security purposes. That phase 2 consists of the high school. It also consists of the administration building, as well as the 290 building and Ben Franklin. And so that's undertaken primarily. Stephen's heading up that job, and he's meeting with them regularly with Matt Kantorski. And some shout outs to Vince Heather, who stayed with us the whole time and made sure everything passed over to good hands. And so that's going along swimmingly, and it's on schedule. The Slackwood School boiler is installed. We should be seeing startup on that soon. So many thanks, Jean, for your cooperation in making that happen. We started during the school year to get that going. And Jean was awesome. She just said, okay, so you're going to make some noise. Kids, that's noise. And so she worked with us through that, so thank you for that. The modular roof at the Lawrenceville Elementary School, the bid for that opens up on the 1st of August, so we'll be replacing that. And then we'll be going out to bid for our rooftop units, which are those giant units you see on LIS. We'll be replacing those as well. And then some interesting things, the window film projects we're finishing up at LES, Eldridge Park, and Ben Franklin School. That was an $80,000 grant that we got to do that. So that rounds that out. The admin building is what we're going to look at next. So we'll be doing that there as well. We modeled out some solutions that we were testing for our HVAC difficulties when we were freezing up. It seems that both of them work. And so that's wonderful. We'll see. It's going to get hotter. So we'll get into the real heavy second stage cooling soon and see how that works. If you're interested, I'd be happy to take you over to the intermediate school to see our staff. You probably won't find a jovial group of people anywhere else that's kidding around dancing to one day salsa, the next day 70s love songs, as you see our custodial staff cleaning the building. So come on out and you'll have some fun and see them. They're almost done LIS, and then we're going to make our way over to the high school. So it's a great group of people, and if you can't make it during the day, let me know about the evening, and we'll take you to see the evening crew, because they're excited to make it look good for the kids, too. Everyone's working in that direction. So Transportation, we have a change in leadership. We have Andrea Nesmith, who's doing a wonderful job. Sue Ullman still calls in and texts to make sure everything's good to go, so she's still dedicated. We have a new person there with her, and I want to thank the central office staff and the business office staff as well. This is their second or third year riding the buses the first couple days. We talked in finance about meeting parents. And so Jill, myself, I think Sean rode a day, Gerald rode 4 days, got off the buses at each stop for Eagles destinations and bridges, just to say hi to parents, and then we're going to see you at this time, and just show face. So there was, the kids felt good and the parents felt good too. So those are some of the things that's happening. Kevin reported out last time on a wellness grant that we were applying for. That grant was submitted for $10,000. And so that's kind of where we are right now. And please give me a call if you want to take a tour.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom. Okay, Board President's report. I don't have anything this evening to report, and I'll move on to the committee reports, starting with Community Relations and Legislative Affairs.
Community Relations has not met since our last meeting. We'll be meeting on August 4th, ahead of the next meeting.
Okay. Negotiations Committee has not met. Equity.
Equity met on June 29th. The committee explored and discussed more effective and substantive ways to break down district data. The purpose was to help find disparities when analyzing data so that it can be determined what would be the most effective ways to remedy the findings for improvements. And the goal would be to provide various values that are functionally comparative and information that is relatable for people of the district to digest. We're going to be continuing to break this down at our next meeting to see how to utilize it for the upcoming academic year.
Okay, thank you. Guidance and Mental Health.
That's Michelle
Michelle
Bowes, but I don't
okay.
believe that we've met in the past
You did
month.
not meet, okay. Next is New Jersey School Board Association.
Okay, just a few quick things. Annual school board elections candidate petition deadline is coming at 4:00 p.m., July 31st, so that needs to be in. July 19th is a webinar that's going to be offered, and the title is State Budget Recap and Legislative Updates. A lot has happened, and you may want to sit in and listen on that. It begins at 11 o'clock in the morning. And anyone that still needs governance, New Jersey School Boards is offering a self-paced program. And if you're interested, let Tom know so he can register if anyone needs that, level 1. And that's it.
Thank you. Lawrence Township Education Foundation.
The Lawrence Township Education Foundation is excited to announce a new community-wide event coming to Lawrence Township in April of 2024. Lawrence Has Talent is expected to be the largest annual fundraising event for the Lawrence Township Education Foundation. This will not be replacing Handbag Bingo, and that is scheduled for February 23rd of 2024. This event will be a unique showcase of amateur acts of all ages performed by those who live, work, receive talent training, or attend any school in Lawrence Township, as well as alumni of Lawrence Township Public Schools. This will be a must-see family event of the year. All profits earned at the event will go toward our mission of enhancing educational excellence for all students in all Lawrence Township Public Schools. Join us by volunteering, participating, or sponsoring. You can email Karen at karen@ltefnj.org to get involved today.
What do you think, board? Should we put together a program?
Okay. Lawrence Town Council.
Town Council has not met since our last meeting. Their next meeting is July 18th.
July 18th, okay. Good. Lawrence Township Growth and Redevelopment. I did not have, they met yesterday. I was not able to attend, but I can report they have been going to local businesses to have their meetings. And yesterday's meeting was at Captain Paul's. The committee has, like I said, has been taking their meetings on the road this summer, visiting local businesses. One of the items on their agenda that they're discussing is their upcoming awards ceremony. So more on that at a later time. Next is Direct Link.
Did not meet.
Partnership. Okay. Partnership did not meet, but I can report, spoke with Every Child's Value. There is an upcoming summit on chronic absenteeism that's going to be held in Monroe, and invitations have been extended to both Robin and Pimmy to attend, and that is not until, I believe it's July 26th. And also reporting with Every Child Value, they've started their track summer program, and they continue to work on their strategic plan. Okay.
How many kids do you know that came out for the track program?
I don't have that number, but I could get it for you. I think the maximum was going to be somewhere around 10.
Love to hear.
Next, we have Mercer County VOTEC,
Mercer County did not meet and will not meet in the summer.
Special Education,
No new or additional items to report from last month's status. The Assistant Superintendent of Student Services has been selected. You'll hear more about this later this evening. The ESY program is currently in progress for the summer session.
okay, thank you. Review of Communications, do we have any?
There were none.
Okay. This will bring us to our first opportunity for public input. Okay, seeing none. Board discussion and work session, if we have anything for that. And board discussion and action items. We do not have anything for that this evening. That brings us to our first report of committees, and that is for Personnel Committee.
Okay, we met July 5th, 8:15 to about 9:15. In attendance, Dr. Case and Sean Fry, Robin, Patricia, Kevin, Pepper. Thank you for filling in, Pepper, and obviously me. We reviewed staffing vacancies for the upcoming year, including special education, math at LMS, psychologist at LMS, social worker at the high school. Excuse me. Oh dear. I typed and I left a word out of here. Systems operation technician, food service supervisor, high school custodian, Slackwood special education, and secretary to tech supervisor. After a thorough interview process, we are pleased to recommend for the third time, you'll hear Vanessa's name. Thank you, Vanessa. As our new assistant superintendent for student services. A committee of multiple stakeholders, as Dr. Kaysen discussed, was convened to interview the finalists for Ben Franklin principal position. Several candidates were put in for their applications. We're in the process of evaluating final staffing needs based on student enrollments and needs, and the district will be holding a new staff orientation next month to support our newly appointed staff, and I believe that Michelle will talk more about that in her report. On tonight's agenda, you'll find approving staff for 23-24 school year, transportation by qualified staff members, summer staff for World Peace Games, Yahoo, thank you for that, EDPs, amendments of salary, payment for unused vacation and sick days, due to retirement, substitute appointments, appointments due to clearance background checks. With all of that, I'd like to move P1 through P15.
Second?
Okay, with a motion by Mr. Van Hees
Joanne and I second
and Joanne seconded.
The other way.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
You got that? Okay. I'm sorry, if you could please call the roll. Thank you.
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Kroger,
Yes.
Dr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Pluta,
Yes.
Ms. Santos,
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise,
Yes.
Ms. Farmer.
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you. That brings us next to CIPD.
CIPD did meet July 10th from 11 to 12:30. In attendance, Ross Kaysen, Robin Klim, Pimmy Goomer, Pepper Evans, Michelle Bowes, Joanne Groger, and myself. At our next meeting, the committee will review the results of the NJGPA assessment, which is the New Jersey Graduate Proficiency Assessment. It's given to juniors at the high school, it was given to juniors at the high school in the spring of 2023. And as is true throughout the state, for any student who did not pass, there is an option to retake the assessment in the summer, which we're currently working on. And the fall, again, there's an additional opportunity, and that's following some targeted instruction to students who did not pass. There are 3 pathways to graduate. One is to pass the NJGPA by meeting the designated cut score on a substitute competency test or by submitting through the district a student portfolio. So that's still an additional option beyond the NJGPA. New staff mentoring program. We are moving towards an expanded induction program where mentees, first-year staff members, these are instructional staff members, teachers, will receive a mentor who are experienced instructional staff members. What they receive in that program is the established 4 days of new staff orientation, approximately 5 to 6 meetings with administration throughout the school year, and then support from their mentors, both formally and informally, throughout the school year. We looked at the SAGE programs and the ASI programs. The committee has determined that the services currently provided by SAGE are essential student services. We will be notified in August if we are to receive the AWARE grant. Additionally, there are likely to be other mental health grants to apply for if we do not receive AWARE. However, the current level of services provided through SAGE is the minimum level we need on an annual basis. While we can do it through a different provider, we believe those services are essential. The ASI program is under review in the 2023-24 school year. Revisions of the program will be put in place as needed for the 24-25 school year, and we'll report on that as the recommendations are made. Regarding long-term facilities expansion planning for space and programs, that was referred to the CIAPD committee from finance. CIAPD would like to see the BOE establish a subcommittee for long-range planning of future programs, use of facilities beyond the current strategic plan. Next meeting, we will have a presentation on our professional development philosophy. So that's part of the agenda for July 28th. PEA grants, that is preschool expansion aid. There were 2 meetings this week, same meeting, simply on 2 different dates, for information regarding those PEA grants that I believe the deadline is in August for programs to begin in January. Many administrators, I would say actually an abundance of administrators, and at least 2 BOE attended the Department of Education information session on the PEA grants on either Monday or Tuesday this week. Opportunities for preschool expansion and all the related items to an expansion of services will be considered in CIAPD at our monthly meetings going forward. And that's all I have to report. I'd like to make a motion to move OSS 1 through 3.
Second?
Okay, with a motion by Michelle and a second by Joanne, you could please call the roll.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mrs. Groger?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Pluta?
Yes.
Ms. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise?
Yes.
Ms. Farmer?
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you. Next is our Finance Committee.
On the heels of my 40-minute presentation at our last board meeting 2 weeks ago, Finance did not meet, but maintaining our title as the most fun committee, even when we cancel our meetings, we still get together and meet. So there was several of us that actually just got together, had a wonderful breakfast with Tom, Robin, and just kind of, talked, kind of meet and greet, summertime, so that was fun. But there's normal action items. Tom covered a lot of what's going on in the Finance Committee during his presentation, so we have our normal action items, and with that, I will move SBM 1 through 12.
Second?
Okay, with a motion and a second by Pepper, if you could please call the roll.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Groger?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Pluta?
Yes.
Ms. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise?
Yes.
Ms. Farmer?
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you. This brings us to our second opportunity for public input. Seeing none, we'll move on to new business.
Okay, on new business, you'll see the following items: vacation payouts, approving staff for summer training, Jumpstart, staff approvals for EDPs, again, for 23-24, equity coaches, and our guest of honor today, Vanessa. She is going to be recommended in a moment for us to vote on for the position of Assistant Superintendent for Student Services. And Vanessa, could you give us a wave? There she is. With that introduction and my list of things, I'd like to move NB1 to NB24.
I'd like to make a motion to pull out NB 13 and NB 14 for a separate vote, please.
13 and 14. All right, so I will move 1 through 12, and then 15 through 24.
Second?
Okay, with a motion and a second by Kevin, if you could please call the roll.
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Grover,
Yes.
Dr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Pluta,
Yes.
Ms. Santos,
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise,
Yes.
Ms. Farmer.
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you.
And now I'd like to move NB 13 and 14.
Second?
Okay, with a motion and a second by Kevin, if you could please call the roll.
Working fast here. Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Grover,
Yes.
Dr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Pluta,
No.
Ms. Santos,
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise,
Yes.
Ms. Farmer.
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you.
Congratulations,
Yes.
Vanessa.
Can we congratulate Vanessa? And I don't want you to know this, but she was a student of mine. Yikes. Congratulations.
Okay. Do we need, no comments? Need to say anything? Okay.
That's it.
Well, welcome. We look forward to you being on board. Thank you.
And I think you have someone in the audience that knows you very well.
To recognize. Thank you for coming.
Yes.
We see you. Okay. With that, if we can have a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Oh, boy.
Wow, mark the time there.